All right, hey VC, I'm Jamie. Welcome back. We're back with another video. I'm back with vinyl finds once again. I've got some vinyl that I picked up fairly recently, and I'll try to get through these, as quickly as possible. I know sometimes my vinyl finds videos tend to go a little bit too long, so I'm going to try to keep these at least under 10 minutes. I'll try to keep an eye on the time. And with my vinyl finds videos, I like to, when I purchase vinyl, I do like to listen to it all before I present it, as opposed to my unboxings where it's kind of, it's unboxing it. It's kind of a series of discovery sort of thing. So that's where the vinyl, because I keep purchasing vinyl, that's where it kind of tends to, I don't know, I get a little bit of a back catalog, shall we say. So I don't want these vinyl finds videos to go on too long, so let's get right to it. Here is an artist worth re-exploring. This is a Shinaido Conner. This is part of a reissue series, and this is the best of Shinaido Conner, or so far at the time. And this is a double album, 2 LP clear vinyl, and I really enjoyed revisiting some of her material, particularly, of course, her rendition of Prince's Nothing Compares to You, the song Mandika, Emperor's New Clothes, that sort of, that late 80s, early 90s sound. This is a double album. Interesting, again, finding more and more of double albums being released or reissued that they're not gatefold, but at least they're giving you space enough for both albums inside. And so I just put some poly-lined inside because these are nice hard cardboard sleeves. And so there you have some of the albums that they've been reissuing, and as mentioned, on clear vinyl. And there you go. So yeah, I've enjoyed listening to that album, and an artist definitely worth exploring once again. Now, Robert Fithen on the vinyl community has been chatting about this series. This is Brown Acid. This is the 10th trip, or I guess the 10th in the series. So essentially this is heavy rock from the underground come down is what they're calling this. So this is actually, I came across this and I picked this up. One of the particular reasons was there was a Canadian song. So these are like compilations, not so much of psych rock, but of kind of heavy rock, if you will, not necessarily heavy metal, but heavy rock through like the late 60s or 70s. As I say, this is the only one in the series that I own, but I'm definitely going to be looking out for more of them, although I'm sure earlier editions are getting harder to find. So this one came out in 2020, and this features from 1974 a Canadian band called Brothers and One, the song Hard on Me from New Waterford, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, Canada. So that was fun to listen to. So there's the track listings for that, but well worth checking out, Brown Acid. And Robert Fithen has talked about this series and quite raves about it. Okay, here's an album I had shown on Larry Graves, the Canadian stud muffin, for one of his live sessions, or live, StreamYard? It's not Zoom, I think it's StreamYard. His live sessions. I talked about this album. So this is Mike Rutherford from Genesis, his first solo album, and this was called Small Creeps Day, which was based on a novel, and it's very proggy. And in fact, I saw a recent interview with Steve Hackett, of course, formerly of Genesis, and Steve Hackett says that this is one of his favorite sort of post-Genesis albums from the solo members of Genesis. Of all the stuff like Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, maybe even Steve Hackett stuff, or Anthony Phillips, that Steve Hackett considers this his favorite sort of Genesis solo member album. And for me, I enjoyed it. I was maybe a little underwhelmed. Maybe I had high expectations going in. I'll have to give it a few repeated listens. This came out in 1980, and Small Creeps Day takes up all of side one, but it might take a few repeated listens. But yeah, so Mike Rutherford, but it does have that nice kind of proggy thing to him, because then certainly Mike Rutherford switched gears. I picked this up. I never had this in my collection, Mike and the Mechanics, and of course this is the first with the band Mike and the Mechanics from 1985. Big hits, Silent Running, All I Need Is a Miracle, of course, Paul Carrick on vocals along with Paul Young on vocals, made for a great pop rock combination, and some big hits to come for sure. And speaking of classic rock with lots of hits, everybody knows this album, Foreigner 4. I did not have this in my collection. Nightlife, Jukebox Hero, Urgent, there's so many hits off this, and this one did come with the original inner sleeve, which was quite nice. And I didn't have this. I had this on CD, but did not have this on vinyl. Like Best of Kansas. You can't go wrong with a song listing like that. Carry On Wayward Son, Dust in the Wind, Point of No Return, so happy to pick that one up. And found another Journey album. So this is Journey. This one's still in the shrink with the hype sticker. Contains the hit Any Way You Want It. So this is Journey and Departure. And of course with Steve Perry, Neil Schon, but check out the hair. Steve Perry and the band. Wow. All those years ago. Greg Raleigh, formerly of Santana, still with the band at this point with Journey. Oh, okay. A Canadian band. If you like country rock, this is a Canadian band worth checking out, the Cooper Brothers. I saw them perform actually years ago when this album came out. Simply titled The Cooper Brothers. They have that really nice country rock sound, terrific harmonies. Rock and Roll Cowboys was a radio hit. Also, The Dream Never Dies, which is a ballad kind of song, but really nice harmonies and vocals. It's a shame they didn't go bigger, and in fact, I did not know that they were on the Capricorn label. And the Capricorn label, of course, featured the Allman Brothers Band and that kind of a number of those country rock bands. So yeah, Cooper Brothers, and on Capricorn Records. And this came out, I want to say, in the mid '70s. Let's see if we can find the year on that one. But yeah, saw them perform in town years ago. Yeah, gosh. Is this actually 1974? Does it go back? No, 1978. 1978 for this. So yeah, well, they had a few albums out, and I think they're still going, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Cooper Brothers. Okay, picked up a couple of Aretha Franklin albums. This is simply called Aretha. This from 1980. This is where Aretha was kind of between, the great hits of the 60s and the early 70s, kind of making, a transition. She would come back certainly in the 80s strong, but it was kind of that late 70s disco, early 80s disco thing. This one's not too bad on that sort of disco-y sound. She does a cover of Can't Turn You Loose on this one, the great Otis Redding song. She also covers Doobie Brothers' What a Fool Believes, and that cover actually really, really works. So, and then she also, does the song School Days. So yeah, Aretha Franklin, simply called Aretha on this one from 1980. Not a bad album, but then was also able to pick up this absolute classic, Aretha live at Fillmore West, and she is on fire, like right from the word go. It's just, the energy is just like right here. So I have this on the CD as part of a Aretha Franklin's sort of a CD box set that features this, but was really happy to come across this one on vinyl. Here's an album that has eluded me for a while. Finally was able to pick up a copy of Mick Taylor's solo album. Of course, when Mick Taylor was with the Stones, went out on his own, finally releasing his first solo album in 1979. Interesting, this is a Hypnosis cover. A really solid debut. Of course, it has that blues rock, but it kind of goes beyond that. Unfortunately, this one does not include the original inner sleeve or insert. So, but the album does sound great. Okay, here's a band, again, that we've talked about many times. I had nothing of this band on CD and have really discovered this artist band through vinyl and through the vinyl community. And this is the David Bromberg Band, and this is Reckless Abandon. And I do really like the cover because the cartoonist is Bill Clyban, which I didn't know. He did a cover, or was featured on a cover for David Bromberg. So Bill Clyban did cartoons for various magazines, including Playboy. His cartooning was a little off the wall, kind of before the Far Side. There was Bill Clyban. There's a number of compilation books available, sort of small paperback books, and some of his artwork's a little out there, a little strange, but there you go. So this is Reckless Abandon. And nice to see. And again, it's David Bromberg. It's bluegrass, it's country, it's rock. He can do it all. It's hard to categorize David Bromberg, but always happy to pick up David Bromberg albums. This was an interesting find. This is the band, the UK band. This is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Lindisfarne. I think that's pretty close. It's probably not. I think the R is silent, so it's a Lindisfarne. And so I was able to pick up 3 albums, very folk rock, and these are all UK presses. So this is Lindisfarne and Nicely Out of Tune. And again, they're all UK presses that sound absolutely terrific. And this on the Charisma label. This is Lindisfarne and Roll on Ruby. And as you can see, and I believe this is a gatefold. Get on the Charisma label. And we should check out the Charisma label on this one. And pretty much the Mad Hatter one. And then we also have Lindisfarne and Lindisfarne Live. And this also on the Charisma label. And again, the Mad Hatter. So really happy to pick up these folk rock classics. Okay, we're in the 10-minute mark. And so that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thanks so much for dropping by, and we'll chat again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.